Good morning, Anne, as well. So we're now live on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome along. It's lovely to have your company for this 45-minute demonstration of pen and wash. How exciting! I haven't got anybody in the classroom today, so it's just me and you. Isn't that good? If you have any questions, I am able to read comments on both YouTube and Facebook. Hopefully, there may be a delay, but I will talk to you. It is Small Business Saturday, so happy Small Business Saturday. And we have got a 10% offer on in store today. So I may be busy during the demo, or I may not. I don't know. So if I do have to leave you, I apologise. But you know, I'm the only one in the shop on Saturdays, so we have to sort of multitask. Good morning, Mandy. So here I'm using A3 watercolour paper, and I've trimmed it to be a panoramic view. And the watercolour paper I'm using is 300 GSM. It's a new paper we're trying by Sea White, and we do sell it in smaller versions. Hello, Rosemary. Well, I'd like a lot of interruptions in one sense. So this is a recycled watercolour paper by Sea White of Brighton. We sell a lot of Sea White brands, but what's interesting about this is it's 300 GSM not surface or cold pressed, and it also has 25% reclaimed cotton. So it's a semi-cotton rag paper, and we've got it in A4. I'm not sure if it's on our website shop yet. Morning, Libby. We've got it. Good morning, Sharon. We've got it in A4 or panoramic. I should have used the panoramic instead of cutting the A3 one down. And square, sort of like that, sort of like 6x6 square watercolor pad. So it's recycled watercolor paper, so nice and eco, but also 25% cotton. So that extra bit of cotton should make it slightly more absorbent. I've not used it for pen and wash. And as you can see, I've sketched out. Anne, will you recognise this? No pressure to you, but will you recognise it? It's actually the Snowdon Horseshoe Mountains. So we've got Llywedd, y Wyddfa, Cribgoch and Cribydysgol. And joyously, the Welsh mountains have all been given the right to be called their Welsh names. So Snowdon is now known as y Wyddfa, which it's always been known as in Wales, but it's now going to be signposted, and all tourism is y Wyddfa, because it's only right that things should be called their native names, I feel. So this is a horseshoe mountain range of Snowdonia. Snowdonia is now called Eryri. So that's really nice. Good morning, Naomi. Thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you here. So I've just sketched out the basic mountain range. I'll be using my morning Sue, my two favourite brushes, my squirrel and my number 4 round, and I've got a water soluble fine liner. Now, if you are doing this, fine liners, it's not just any fine liner, it has to be water soluble. So a pen like this, the Unipin one, where it says water and fade proof pigment ink, don't use it, because it's a permanent pen, and when you put it on and you add the water, nothing will happen, and it will lead to a very disappointing pen and wash lesson for you. I don't expect anyone to join in live because it is 45 minutes. I was going to do A4, but because I'm doing panoramic, I panicked and thought it would be too small, so I'm doing A3. I tell you other good pens. I'm using a blue Acorn fine liner. The Tri Plus colour liners are really good, and they come in different colours, and they say dry safe, but they are water soluble. Or the Berol handwriting pens in black or blue work beautifully as well. And what's great about it is you get different colours. But what I mean is you get different colours in one pen, because black ink isn't just black. It's got all the colours of the rainbow in it to make it. So depending on the concentration of ink and how much water you add, you get different shades. Sometimes the pen can come out just grey. Sometimes it will have a red tone. Other times it will have a green tone, and other times it might have a purple tone. So that's quite exciting. Here's an example of one we did on Monday evening's watercolour class. And this is all just water-soluble pen with some highlights in the foreground grasses of white gel pen. So all of it is just that water-soluble pen and water. So here's hoping for an exciting lesson. Once a month on a Monday night, we do 7 till 9. We do a pen and wash class. So when is it? It's the fourth Monday of the month. So the first Monday of the month is watercolour, second Monday gouache, third Monday watercolour pencils, fourth Monday watercolour pen and wash. So what we do is we then decide what we want to ink in and not. I'm not inking in that back mountain because I don't want to. You don't have to draw everything in advance. You just want to draw your basic shapes. And the reason for that is because if you're drawing everything in detail first, and then you're drawing everything in pen, it's just a very long-winded process. So if you can, I've missed out a peak there. So if you can just get away without drawing so much to start with, it just makes life a little bit easier. That is quite a harsh line there, so I'm going to do that perforated. So the amount of ink you add will determine the darkness, the depth of colour. Hello, Lollipop Strawberry. What a lovely name that is. 300 GSM watercolour paper, not surface or cold pressed, a water-soluble pen, and just some brushes. That's all we're doing today, keeping it nice and simple. And hopefully we can do it in 45 minutes. But again, apologies in advance if I am interrupted by customers, but we are by and large a shop, so we have to expect that we're going to get customers. We can hope, especially on Small Business Saturday. So it's a good chance for you to support small businesses, not even if it's just in your town, but just small businesses in general. Maybe try and do some Christmas shopping and support a small business. So here I'm going to be doing some slightly linear lines following the contours of the mountain. Now, depending on the paper you use is going to depend on how much pen disappears or not with the water. So follow the contours just in case, because if you scribble with it, well, it could not end up pretty, and you're going to end up with just lots of mess, and nobody wants that. So if you follow the contours, it will help. If you're using printer paper, by the way, that will never work, because printer paper is designed to trap ink, so nothing will come from it, whereas watercolour paper, some cartridge paper will work well, others won't. So I'm having peppermint tea this morning. Just play around and see what you feel. Now I am going to do a little bit of ink here because it's slightly mistier, so I'm not pressing down as hard. How are you all this morning? Where are you all watching from? I don't need your addresses. I'd just like to know a rough area. Are you Oxfordshire? Are you UK? Are you outside of the UK? Very happy down in the cafe today, aren't they? I know quite a few of you are hardened viewers, and it's lovely to have you with us in December for our last demonstration of the year. Scary to think that it's December. Watching from your sofa, Rosemary. Best place on a chilly Saturday morning. Because our next demo is on the 7th of January. And we're going to paint metallic looking objects in acrylics. if you've got our new booklet or downloaded it, there won't be a demo on the 3rd of June. I might have to do a pre-recorded one or change the date because I'm not here. I'm absconding for the day, and I'm in South Wales, I think, for a wedding. See, the thing is, we plan our classes nearly a year in advance, so when things come up, sometimes, if possible, I change them, but there are times when I don't, and I keep them going. So I'm just doing sort of squiggles, and it's going to look a bit weird, and that's okay. I'm not worrying too much at the moment. Hello, Nick. Trouble? Me? Oh, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Last week I was singing outside because we had a Victorian market in town, so I was busking outside the shop. That was quite fun. And I dare say I'll be doing that again. I'll be inflicting my crooning on Banbury before Christmas at least once more. Because I'm mean like that. Always? What? I hope you're okay. We do miss having you in class, but it's lovely to have you joining us this morning. So pen and wash is a great tool to use for when you're on holiday, actually, or when you're away. Who is going to provide your tea? Well, thankfully, we've only got half an hour left. Can you cope? Half an hour art demo left because I've been chatting for 15 minutes. Good morning, Patricia. How are you today? Let's go a little bit darker down here. Oh, I think I've got a customer. That's good, isn't it? Right, I'll be back in 1 second. I've got my little sign. I'll be as quick as I can. See you in a sec. I'm returned. I'm back. Don't miss me. Oh, thank you. Oh, flattery, Patricia. Rosemary, this is tragic. I feel for you. Do you want me to send some tea round? Thank you for the stars, Patricia. That's very kind of you. If you'd like, obviously we do these demonstrations for free, and we know that money is tight. So if you are in the position and you can send stars via Facebook, you can directly water-soluble pencils work. Watercolour pencils will be fine to do something like this. Or you can head to our website, and on our main homepage there will be a little floating sign that says support us, and you can donate £3 via PayPal onto our coffee account. And every donation just means it helps us, enables us to do more of this. Because we love doing it. We really do. We really love it, and it's something that I've done. Thank you, Libby. I can't tell all the time, but thank you. So where you want the image to be darker, you add more ink. But when you're working with this, what you want to do is you don't want to use the dark ink necessarily straight away. I'm probably not going to do much more in terms of ink, purely because we haven't got the time. And I had a brush pen. Oh, I did wonder what you meant, Sally, with Bruxelles, but I wasn't going to ask because I thought it might be something something that I hadn't heard of. But brush pens would work. Watercolour pencils will work. Anything where you can lay the pigment down first, add water, and spread. So I want a lovely sky. The thing to remember with water-soluble pen is it is not light fast. I did an experiment several years ago where I did a pen and ink demo, and unfortunately, if it's held in a light area, I pinned it up the back of the shop under the skylight, and within 6 months it had almost faded away in the summer. So it's not light fast. So if you do a piece that you really like, I'm just going to rub out a lot of my pencil lines now, where the ink has covered, because I don't need it. I'm going to have to leave the pencil lines on the things that I do need, because that's why it's there. And so if you're doing a piece and it turns out really well, good for Christmas cards and things, get a print done of it, because the print, especially a giclée print, it lasts for 60 to 80 years. Right, so I'm wetting my sky. I don't want to go too far down to where the pen is, because my mountains will run upwards. But I can go down to where my drawn mountain is, because it's snowy on the left side. So the light is coming from the left today. So I'm wetting the paper. So I'm going to have to flit around because I want a cloudy sky. And in order to get a cloudy sky, I need to pick up ink. And in order to get the ink, I need to get it. Hello, Carol. Oh, you've got bronchitis. Oh, bless you. Let's hope you get well soon. So I'm going to pick up the ink with just a wet brush from here and drop it into my sky. So it gives me clouds. Now you can see here that the ink is not disappearing on this brand of paper. It's the first time I've used this make, so it's always quite interesting to see what happens. Oh, thank you, Trish, for your support. I can provide tea on Friday night. That's come round extremely quickly. The thing to remember above all else with water-soluble pen is don't ever go into your picture while it's damp with your pen. And the reason for that is simply that it will trap the ink. The wet paper traps the ink and it won't spread. So if you want just a nice spready bit, let it dry, and then you can go back in with your ink afterwards. So you can see I'm not able to get rid of all of my ink, so it's a good job I planned for that and followed the contours. So there you see, we've already got a colour, and this ink is going a little bit blue. Now I'm switching to my little brush. Hello Sarah, good morning. You haven't missed a lot. We're doing the Snowdonia Horseshoe Mountains today. If I go with a slightly harder brush, I might be able to just pick up a little bit more ink there. So this mountain here, how I'm going to get that is I'm going to pick up the ink from the snow and dry brush this mountain. So it should really push it back, because we know the light side is on the left. And this is all, we've got a really misty mountain in the background. Oh, Sharon. Flattery. Thank you. More. So I'm letting the ink run. So really do play around with paper, because it's not always the better quality paper that you think will give you the effect you want. As I say, this is 25% cotton, but it is holding the ink. So can you see, because I put less ink on here, it's giving me a slightly lighter tone. I'll tell you what else you can do. Let me see if I can find it. If you need to just have emergency ink, look, get a scrap bit of watercolour paper and scribble on it. And that can be your palette. How am I doing for time? Ooh, not too bad actually. So I can pick that colour up. It's the same ink, so I could do something slightly darker. So it's all to do with the concentration of ink. Can add a few more darker bits, but this is starting to get snowy. So we want lights and darks. This is quite snowy. I've switched, if you notice, from using my squirrel to this brush, just because it's a little bit more fiddlesome. I kind of like it with the loose pen work on there though. I want it to be a little bit more free. I've painted this horseshoe scene. I've got a lovely watercolour. This size actually that I did 10 years ago. I have got a sort of reference photo in mind, but I mean, if it's a standard view of the Snowdonia Horseshoe Mountains. So really easy to Google. So you're able to build up what you're doing, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And we're creating distance and depth and layers. I'm going to scribble a bit more on another bit of paper, on the same bit of paper, but I'm going to go a little bit darker there, because I want a dark cloud there that's darker than I've put in. So I'm going to re-wet around here and pick up that dark and just drop that in, and what that's going to do is it's going to bring that snowy part of the mountain forward. Let's have a nice dark cloud there. So I'm wetting an area bigger than I want it, and because the ink is more concentrated on this, it's giving me darker clouds. So you can really have some fun and go to town with this. And although I've already got ink on here, it's it kind of gets set into it. You could keep working with stiffer bristled paper brushes and lift off some of what you've got, but just go with it. See what happens. I'm just having a look on the screen myself. Ooh, you know what? Hello, Pauline. Sorry, I missed your comment. Lovely to see you, and thank you for joining us. We've got 12 of you online in Facebook, and how many on 9 of you live on YouTube. We're multi-streaming. I don't know how we do it. Don't ask me, because I haven't got a clue. I've just got lots of gadgetry everywhere. But isn't that fun? Right, so now we're going to move forward, and this is going to be darker than that, but lighter than that. Oh, listen to the dogs outside. And because it's snowy, just leave little bits and it's fine. I'm going to do another scribble. I could go on here, but a different paper, as I was saying. This is just normal watercolour paper, so it's giving me a higher concentration of ink. But you can see that goes green. Same pen. Absolutely the same pen. Fascinates me. It will never cease to fascinate me. Do I want this lighter? I want this lighter and this to be darker, I think. Oh, thank you, Libby. It's very kind of you. Thank you for the stars. Oh, I've got to say, I don't know who it is, because you've been anonymous, but thank you, a huge thank you to whoever it was that has sent me a selection of my favourite chocolates, my Lindt chocolates for my birthday. You sent it anonymously, so I can't thank you in person. My birthday isn't until the 13th, so it's in 10 days' time, but they arrived yesterday, and it's extremely kind of you. I have opened and eaten a few already, I'm afraid, but thank you so much. It was a beautiful surprise, but I can't thank you in person because I don't know who you are, because it was deliberately anonymous. But thank you very much. I'm just scribbling on paper. I just noticed that Facebook can't see that bit of scribble. So I'm just using a slightly heavier concentration of ink. But you can see this paper doesn't totally get rid of the pen lines. It's really important that your pen lines follow your contours or gradients or shapes of whatever it is that you want to paint. I'm going to go. I need to work out which I want darker. I might go darker behind. Let me scribble a bit more, because as I'm looking on the screen, these pens are only about £1.50 or £1.60, something like that, I think. So don't think of it as an expense. It really is just a good way of I mean, you pay a lot for paint, don't you? So don't worry about it. And it just brings things forward, pushes things back, and if all goes wrong, you've got a white gel pen that you can put on the top. Now the white gel pen will sort of suck up some of that paint, the ink. It is a lovely medium, Libby. It's something that you could try all sorts with. I think I've done portraits, landscapes, basically anything, because you're just creating a grey-scale version, aren't you, of whatever you're looking at. And because it's December, I thought, you know what, I want to do some snowy mountains. As I say, it's a metallic object in acrylics in January the 7th. So that'll be really, really nice. And of course I'm doing this in A3. So it is slightly bigger than I normally would. Just want to darken down here, so I'm enhancing the contrast. Sue, it's amazing, isn't it? And that's not me being big-headed. I'm talking about the medium is amazing. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm here just to show you and enlighten you into new ways of doing things. So if I give it a quick blast with the hairdryer, I want to do a twiggy plant here. Everything blows away. It is lovely though, honestly. Pen and wash is an unsung hero, because there's a lot of different ways of describing pen and wash. Sometimes pen and ink is different. Pen and ink stems from the days of Indian ink and a dip pen, so pen and ink, which is permanent ink, and that can be used in conjunction with either Payne's grey watercolour to give a similar effect as this, or coloured watercolour on top because the ink won't run, or just leave it in pen, which is quite timeless really, but I think this has a timeless quality to it as well. A little bit rocky here, so I'm redefining. Oh, thank you very much. Is that another coffee done. Thank you. It's a lovely effect, isn't it, Rosemary? And this is why I wanted to do it bigger, because if you imagine I did this panoramic view in A4, it would it would it would just be that little strip, and I don't think you'd get the full appreciation of the whole feel of the medium. And also, it's so important to practice on different papers to see the effect. So you can see this is standard wood pulp watercolour paper, and the colours look totally different. It was the same pen, totally different colours, and you can't tell what colour it's going to come out. And I find that quite exciting, to be honest. But yes, in a class setting, when you're sort of like following along and you're trying to keep up and you're worrying about cups of tea, you can also see that it's a faster medium to work in. I'm doing a few rocks and tufts and things, but they're just loose scribbles. There's nothing overbearing in them. I might use a bit of gel pen on some of these branches. It is a great medium for quick sketching. It's really good for working. I've got another customer. I will be back in a second. Oh, I'm back. I have returned. But it's, I think it's perfect for holidays or anything really. Because to be honest, if you were going away, you would just need your pen, your watercolor paper, a pencil if you wanted to sketch it out previously, and you could just use, the water brushes that you fill with water. That would be perfect, wouldn't it? Because at least that way you could just take it filled with water and you're wetting. So it's really accessible and portable, which which is exactly what you want. So let me try it with a bit of white gel pen. Doesn't always stand out, but it might help some of the branches show up a little bit in the darker areas, or some little bit of tufty grass bits. I really think it's a wonderful technique to work with, and just for quick and easy access, really. So that is me finished. So just a little bit of white gel pen where you might want it to go. You can see that it's sort of picking up the ink through it, so it doesn't make it pure white, which is perfect. And that is it. Quite a simple 45 minutes. In fact, you can see I've finished 2 minutes early. Thank you, Rosemary. So you can see what it's like. Oh, you've been doing it with me, Libby. That's pretty impressive. I look forward to seeing what you've done then. I will take a photograph of this so you can see how it looks, and I'll post it in the group, I think, to see what it's like. You can see that the white gel pen has started to soak up the ink, and it's just very subtle. That's your fallback in case it all goes wrong. And I haven't wet that bit, so let me just quickly wet that bit. Give me sort of misty mountains in the back. Darken that one. There we go. I don't think I need to do any more, do I? I think that looks finished. So the next demo, as I say, is on Saturday the 7th of January, 11 o'clock, and it's painting metallic looking objects in acrylic. So we'll try and do it live on here on Facebook and on YouTube to give you all an opportunity to watch live. So take care, have a really good weekend, have a happy festive period if you celebrate, or whatever you get up to, and I look forward to seeing you. If you're in the area, call in the shop. We're always here Tuesday to Saturday, and it'd be nice to have a chat. So take care, stay safe, bye bye everybody, bye bye.